Chapter 7, Unlimited Forms of Godhead. According to the Vaishnava Almanac, the 12 months of the year are named according to the 12 Vaikuntha forms of Lord Sri Krishna. And these forms are known as the predominating deities for the 12 months. This calendar begins with the month of Mar Margashira, which is equivalent to late November and early December. The Vaishnavas call this month Keshava. December, January is called Narayana. January, February, Madhava. February, March, Govinda. March, April, Vishnu. April, May, Shri Madhusudana. And May, June, Trivikrama. June, July is called Vamana. July, August is Sridhara. August, September, Rishikesha. September, October, Padmanabha. And October, November, Damodar. This Damodar is different from the Damodar in Raja. The name Damodar was given to Krishna when he was bound with ropes by his mother, but the Damodar from who is the predominating deity of the month of October November, is different manifestation. Just as the months of the year are known accordingly to the 12 different names of the Supreme Lord, members of the Vaishnava community mark 12 parts of the body according to these names. For instance, the tilak mark on the forehead is called Keshava. On the stomach, chest, and arms, the other names are also given. These are the same names as those given the months. Vasudeva, Sankarshana, Pradyumna, and Aniruddha expand into 8 additional Vilasa Murtis. Their names are Purushottama, Achyuta, Narsimha, Janardana, Hari, Krishna, Adhokshaja, and Upendra. Adhokshaja and Purushottam are the Vilasa forms of Vasudeva. Similarly, Upendra and Achyuta are the Vilasa forms of Sankarshana. Narsimha and Janardana are the Vilas forms of Pradyumna, and Hari and Krishna the Vilas forms of Aniruddha. This Krishna is different from the original Krishna. श्रेया माता जी मैं कंटिन्यू चाहती थी बोल रही बोलता माता जी ओके शिवानी माता जी you can read.
These 24 forms the 4 original Vishnu forms, the 12 Vaikuntha forms, and the 8 Vilasamurti mentioned above are known as Vilasa manifestation of the Prabhava 400 form, and they are named differently according to the position of the symbolic representations. Make this lotus flower and conch shell. Out of these 24 Vilasa forms, some are Vaibhava forms such as Pradyumna, Trivikrama, Vamana, Hari, and Krishna, which have different features. Those Vasudeva, Sankarshan, Pradyum, and Aniruddha are Prabhava Vilasa forms. Screen.
Hare Krishna. I'm sorry, there is the network issue.
400 forms, and they are named differently according to the position of the symbolic representation. Make risk, lotus flower, and conch shell. Out of these 24 Vilasa forms, some are Vaibhava forms such as Pradyumna, Trivikrama, Vamana, Hari, and Krishna, which have different features. Such those Vasudeva, Sankarshan, Pradyum, and Aniruddha are Prabhava Vilas form of Krishna, and there are a total of 20 further variations. All of these have Vaikuntha planets in the spiritual sky and are situated in 8 different directions. Although each of them resides eternally in the spiritual sky, some of them nonetheless appear in the material world also. In the spiritual sky, all the planets dominated by the Narayana features are eternal. The topmost planet in the spiritual sky is called Krishna Loka, which is divided into their portions, Goloka, Mathura, and Dwarka. In the Mathura portion, the form of Keshava is always situated. He is represented on this earthly planet in Mathura, India, where the Keshava Murti is worshipped. Similarly, there is a Purushottam form in Jagannatha Puri in Odisha. In Anandaranya, there is the form of Vishnu, and in Mayapur, the birthplace of Lord Chaitanya, there is the form of Hari. Many other forms are also situated in various places on the earth, not only in this universe but in all other universes as well. These forms of Krishna are distributed everywhere. It is indicated this earth is divided into 7 islands, which are the 7 continents, and it is understood that one very Iceland there are similar forms, but at the present moment these are found only in India. Although from the Vedic literatures we can understand that there are similar forms in other parts of the world. At present there is no information of their location. These forms of Krishna are distributed throughout the world and throughout the universes to give pleasure to the devotees. It is not that devotees are born only in India. There are devotees in all parts of the world, but they have simply forgotten their identity. These forms incarnate not only to give pleasure to the devotees but to establish devotional service and perform other activities which vitally concern the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Some of these forms are incarnation mentioned in the scriptures, such as the Vishnu incarnation, Trivikrama incarnation, Narsimha incarnation, and Vamana incarnation. In the Sridhara Siddhartha Samhita, there is a description of the 24 forms of Vishnu, and these forms are named according to the position of the symbols in their four hands. When describing the position of an object in the hands of the Vishnu Murtis, one should be with the lower right hand and then move to the upper right hand to the upper left hand and finally to the lower left hand. In this way, Vasudeva is represented by club, conch shell, disc, and lotus flower. Sankarshan is represented by club, conch shell, lotus flower, and disc. Similarly, Pradyumna is represented by disc, conch shell, club, and lotus flower. Aniruddha is represented by disc, club, conch shell, and lotus flower. In the spiritual sky, the representation of Narayana are 20 in number and are described as follows. Sri Keshava, lotus conch shell, disc and club, Narayana, conch lotus club and disc, Sri Madhava, club, disc, conch and lotus, Sri Govinda, disc, club, lotus and conch, Vishnumurti, um, club, lotus, conch and disc, Vishnumurti, Madhusudana, Trivikrama, Sri Vamana, Sridhara, Rishikesha, Padman, Padmanabha, Damodara, Purushottam, Achyutam, Narsimha, Janardana, Sri Hari, Sri Krishna, Adhokshaja, and Upendra. According to the
According to the Harshish Pancharatra, there are 16 forms, and these are also named according to the positions of the disc and so on. Hare Krishna. According to the Harshish Pancharatra, there are 16 forms, and these are also named according to the positions of the disc and so on. The conclusion is that the supreme original personality of Godhead is Krishna. He is called Leela Purushottam, and he resides principally in Vrindavan as the son of Nand. It is also learned from the Harshish Pancharatra that there are 9 forms protecting the two Puris known as Mathura Puri and Dwarka Puri. These 9 forms are Vasudev, Sankarshan, Pradyumna, Aniruddha, Narayan, Narsimha, Hayagriv, Varah, and Brahma. These are different manifestations of the Prakas and Vilas forms of Krishna. Lord Chaitanya next informed Sanatan Goswami that there are different forms of Shwas as well, and these are divided into Sankarshan division and the Incarnation division. The Sankarshan division includes the 3 Purush avatars, Karanodak Sai Vishnu, Garbhodak Sai Vishnu, Shirodak Sai Vishnu, and the other division comprises the Leela avatars, such as Lord's incarnations as a fish and a tortoise. There are 6 kinds of incarnations: the Purusha avatars, the Leela avatars, the Guna avatars, the Mataji, can you scroll? The Manvantar avatars, the Yuga avatars, the Shakyavashesh avatars. Out of the 6 Vilas manifestations of Krishna, there are 2 based on his age, and these are called Balya and Pagan. As the son of Nand, he enjoys both of the childhood aspects, namely Balya and Pagan. We can conclude that there is no end to the expansions and incarnations of Krishna. Lord Chaitanya described some of them to Sanatana just to give him an idea of how the Lord expands and how he enjoys. These conclusions are confirmed in Srimad Bhagavatam.
There it is said that there is no limit to the incarnations of the Supreme Lord, just as there is no limit to the waves of the ocean. Krishna first incarnates as the three Purush avatars, namely the Mahavishnu or Karnadakshay avatar, the Garbhodakshay avatar, and the Kshirodakshay avatar. This is confirmed in the Sattva Tantra. Krishna's energy can be divided into three: his energy of thinking, his energy of feeling, and his energy of acting. When he exhibits his thinking energy, he is the Supreme Lord. When he exhibits his feeling energy, he is Lord Vasudev. And when he exhibits his acting energy, he is Sankarshan Balram. Without the Lord's thinking, feeling, willing, acting, there would be no possibility of creation. Although there is no creation in the spiritual world as there in the material world, both worlds are manifestations of Krishna's energy of acting, which he carries out in the form of Sankarshan Balram. The spiritual world, the Vaikuntha planets, and the Krishna Lok is situated in Krishna's energy of thinking. Although there is no creation in the spiritual world which is eternal, it is still to be understood that the spiritual planets depend on the thinking energy of the Supreme Lord. The thinking energy is described in the Brahma Samhita, where it is said the supreme abode known as Goloka is manifested like a lotus flower with hundreds of petals. Everything there is manifested by Anand, who is the form of Lord Balram or Sankarshan. The material cosmic manifestation and its different universes are manifested through Maya or the material energy. And one should not think that the material energy or the material nature is the cause of this cosmic manifestation. Rather, it is caused by the Supreme Lord who uses his different expressions to act through material nature. In other words, there is no possibility of any creation without the superintendence of the Supreme Lord. The form of the Lord who causes the energy of material energy to bring about creation is Sankarshana, and it is understood that this cosmic manifestation is created when the material nature comes in contact with the superintendent energy of the Supreme Lord, Sankarshana. The example is given of iron becoming hot in contact with the fire, and red hot acting just like fire.
In Srimad Bhagavatam, it is said that Balaram and Krishna are the origin of all living entities and that these two personalities enter into everything. A list of incarnations is given in Srimad Bhagavatam, and they are as follows: the Kumaras, Narada, Varaha, Matsya, Yagna, Naranarayana, Kardam, Kardami Kapil, Dhattatreya, Hayasirsa, Hamsa, uh, Dhruva Priya or Dhruva Priya, Rishabha, Prithu, Narsimha, Ko, Kurma, uh, Dha, Dhanvantri, Mohini, Vamana, Bhargava, Ra, Raghavendra, Vyasa, Pralam, Pralambhari, Balaram, Krishna, Buddha, and Kalki. Because all these 25 Leela avatars appear in one day of Brahma, which is called a kalpa, they are sometimes called kalpa avatars. Out of these incarnations, Hamsa and Mohini are not permanent, but Kapila, Dhattatreya, Rishabha, Dhanvantri, and Vyasa are five eternal forms, and they are more celebrated. Kurma, the tortoise incarnation; Matsya, the fish; Naranarayana; Vara, the boar; Hayashirsha, uh, and Balaram are considered incarnations of Vaibhava. Similarly, there are three Gunavatars or incarnations of qualitative mode of nature, and these are Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva. There are 14 Manvantra avatars: Yagna, Vibhu, Satyasena, Hari, Vaikuntha, Ajita, Vamana, Sarvabhauma, Rishabha, Vishwakesana, Dharma Setu, Sudama, Yogeshwara, and uh, Bra, Bradhabhanu. Out of these 14 Manvantra avatars, Yagna and Vamana are also Leela avatars. The Manvantra avatars are known as Vaibhav avatars. The four Yuga avatars are also described in Srimad Bhagavatam. In the Satya Yuga, the incarnation of God is white. In Treta Yuga, he is red. In Dwapar Yuga, he is blackish, and in Kali Yuga, he is also blackish. But sometimes in a special Kali Yuga, his color is yellowish, as in the case of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. As far as the Shaktiavesh avatars are concerned, they include Kapila, Rishabh, Ananta, Brahma. Although sometimes the Lord himself becomes Brahma, uh, Chatuhasana. Uh, the Kumaras, who are the incarnation of knowledge, Narada, the incarnation of devotional service, King Prithu, the incarnation of administrative power, and Parashurama, the incarnation who subdues evil principles.
Chapter 8 The Avatars. Lord Chaitanya continued explaining to Sanatana Goswami about Lord Krishna's avatars, all or incarnations which are his expansions who come to the material creation. The word avatar means one who descend from the spiritual sky. In the spiritual sky, there are numerable Vaikuntha planets, and from these planets, the expansion of the Supreme Personality of Godhead come into the universe. The first descent of the Supreme Personality of Godhead from the expansion of Sankarsana is the first Purusha incarnation. It is stated in Bhagavad Gita that when the Supreme Personality of Godhead descends as the first Purusha incarnation of the material creation, he immediately manifests 16 elementary energies known as Mahavishnu. He lies within the causal ocean, and it he it he it is he who is the original incarnation in the material world. Srimad Bhagavatam stated that he is the Lord of time, nature, cause and effect, mind, ego, the five physical elements, the three modes of nature, the sense, and the universal form. He is the independent master of all moving and non-moving living beings in the material world. The influence of material nature cannot reach beyond the bridge or causal ocean as confirmed in Srimad Bhagavatam. Neither the modes of material nature, goodness, passion, and ignorance, nor material time have any influence of the Vaikuntha planets. On those planets, the liberated association of Krishna live eternally, and they are worshipped by both the demigods and the demons. Material nature acts in two capacities as
Material nature acts in two capacities, as Maya and as Pradhan. Maya is the direct cause, and Pradhan refers to the elements of the material manifestations. When the first Purusha avatar, Mahavishnu, glances over material nature becomes agitated, and the Purusha avatar thus impregnates matter with the living entities. Simply by the glance of Mahavishnu, consciousness is created, and this consciousness is known as Mahat Tattva. The predominating deity of the Mahat Tattva is Vasudev. This created consciousness is then divided into three departmental activities according to the three guns, modes of the material nature. Consciousness in the mode of goodness is described as in the 11th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. The predominating deity of this mode is Aniruddha. Consciousness in the mode of passion produces intelligence, and the predominating deity in this case is Pradyumna. He is the master of the senses. Consciousness in the mode of ignorance causes the production of ether, the sky, and the ear. The cosmic manifestation is a combination of all
these modes, and in this way, innumerable universes are created. No one can count the number of the universes. These innumerable universes are produced from the pores of Mahavishnu's body. As innumerable atoms pass through the tiny holes in a screen, innumerable universes similarly emanate from the pores of Mahavishnu's body. As he breathes out, innumerable universes are produced. As he inhales, they are annihilated. All of these energies of Mahavishnu are spiritual. They have nothing to do with the material energy. In the Brahma Samhita, it is stated that the predominating deity of each universe, Brahma, lives only during one breath of Mahavishnu. Thus, Mahavishnu is the original supersoul of all universes and master of all universes as well. The second Vishnu incarnation, Garbhodakshai Vishnu, enters each and every universe, spreads perspiration from his body and lies down on that water. From his navel grows the stem of a lotus flower, and on that lotus flower, the first creature, Brahma, is born. Within the stem of that lotus flower are 14 divisions of planetary systems which are created by Brahma. In the form of Garbhodakshai Vishnu, the Lord maintains each universe and tends to its needs. Although he is within each material nature, the influence of the material energy cannot touch him. When it is required, it is the very same Vishnu who takes the form of Lord Shiva and annihilates the cosmic creation. The three secondary incarnations, Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiv, are the predominating deities of the three modes of material nature. The master of the universe, however, is Garbhodakshai Vishnu, who is worshipped as Hiranyagarbha's super soul. The Vedic hymns describe him as having thousands of heads.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.